Hey there, you, me, and DC fans, and welcome if you are new. I am the stepson of Krypton. And
And I am
today we're bringing
Mantis.
you a quick video about rumors, swirling articles, and all such things in the Twitterverse about the X-Men reboot and our thoughts on that, as well as their thoughts on that. And we're going to get your thoughts on it. A lot of thoughts going on here. So, Mantis, are you ready to get into
Somebody
it?
stop.
Just point the opposite fucking direction.
I am, yes. Yes, thank you.
Yes, have
Thank
some.
you. Yes, I am. Oh wait, I'm looking the wrong.
God
I'm
damn
looking
it.
the
See, we're
wrong
all just kinds
direction.
of fucked. So, you know what? Let's just go and get into the intro. All right, guys. So, obviously, we know with all of the new things happening with the MCU, can't really think of a better way to say it than that. With, the Avengers Doomsday now, we know Secret Wars is going to be have two parts to it. Obviously, Marvel is now bringing all of their franchises, or the goal is to bring them all into the same universe now, the 616 universe. So a lot of rumors have been speculated about an X-Men reboot. Obviously, we kind of, the first three obviously did their thing. They ended. We got the new X-Men First Class and Days of Future Past and all of those good guys, and we kind of blended them a little bit. But now it's kind of done. And do we need a new reboot of X-Men? Mantis, you're the one that pointed this article out to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I had saw this on on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. There's an insider and this happened last week. We were actually going to talk about this last week, but we couldn't. There were some technical difficulties we were working through. Hopefully, this video looks great because it's on a new platform. But rumors circulated last week from insider Daniel Rickman, and he teases things on his Twitter and then he'll talk about it in his Patreon, and I'm not paying for that shit. So I waited and found a secondary source that kind of tipped off some of this stuff. So unfortunate for him on that. He lost out on $1 Patreon subscription for the month. But anyway, it says that the current direction of the X-Men reboot will not include Wolverine as a character, but is similar to the X-Men 97 cast in the animated series that they had released. Was that
Yeah,
was
it was
that this year? Earlier this year, right? Like earlier this year. Yeah, geez, time's just creeping away from me. But anyway, pretty much the same kind of group there, and a few extra ones. No origin stories in the reboot.
We all know how Mantis hates an origin
Not
story.
a fan of that shit. Yep. And in my opinion, if they needed to kind of delve into some of those characters, because again, this is a reboot, but if they need to delve into some of those characters past, they can do that via flashbacks.
Welcome to the channel, everybody. I am the stepson of Krypton.
And I am Mantis.
And this is You, Me, and DC.
Stuff like that. It's not the first time they've done it. In fact, I think it would work fine in an X-Men movie. So, but the funny thing about that, I was like, I don't know how you kind of took that news, but it's like, how are you going to have an X-Men reboot movie without Wolverine? Like, not even just the fact that Wolverine is been played by the same character in pretty much every single on-screen adaptation in the Fox versions of X-Men films. It's been the same guy that's played that character for 20 years. Okay. And now you're telling me you're going to reboot this in the same line as Fantastic Four, but you're not going to include, he has to be the most popular X-Men, right? Like on the movie, like he's the most popular X-Men. How's that going to work? Now, again, it did say also, it's however expected that Hugh Jackman will continue to play Wolverine, just not in the reboot, in other projects. And I'm assuming that could be involving in the Secret Wars or in Deadpool. There's no way they're not going to continue that storyline, that character, all of that stuff. They're going to milk that shit for all they can. So, he's going to continue to play the character, just not in the reboot. It's just, I don't know. What do you think about that? Because to me, that's just wild.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here. Obviously, I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I love Wolverine as a character. But the issue you're going to have is if you reboot X-Men and you bring in a new character as Wolverine, he's going to be compared to Hugh Jackman, right? And it's going to be a hard bar to live up to. Other side of that as well, that you want X-Men to focus on the X-Men and not just be a Wolverine movie that just has side characters, right? Like, Wolverine steals the show in the
Yeah,
X-Men movies, like all the other ones. Um, so it's like we want to be able to do a movie that showcases the other X-Men and not just Wolverine. Maybe. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying
right.
maybe that's the thought process behind it, is because, oh yeah, we're not going to run our most popular character because we don't want to have to try to find somebody like Henry Cavill, who looked as an awesome Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. Um,
Agreed.
but you should have by now, goddamn it. All right, but you don't want to have to tackle that as well as you want to be able to explore, all of your X-Men. Like maybe you're going to do the original, like with Iceman, Beast, and all of that again. What they've already been X-Men for
Yeah,
a little while, which I would assume if you're not doing any origin stories, you're going to show them as probably kind of X-Men already in progress. Like they've been X-Men for a little bit. Now here's going to come a big baddie instead of just regular shit they deal with. So
yeah.
maybe that's their thought process, and then you're gonna maybe you'll bring him in later on,
Well,
like in a latter move, like because I'm sure if the first X-Men reboot movie doesn't do well, their first thought's going to be we need to bring Wolverine back.
well, and you mentioned this when you first started talking, and then now it makes total sense. Like, there's two things, right, about why they didn't do it this way. One, is probably the most obvious is if you're going to reboot X-Men, why would you put a 50, 60-year-old actor in to play Wolverine? That's not going to last. Okay, it's just not. Secondly, it's kind of what we talked about with the DCU and the weird shit they're doing, like having characters that were in the DCEU, but the actors, the same actors, are playing them in the DCU. Like, it would be weird if you had a separate actor playing Wolverine in X-Men Reboot and Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine in the Secret War shit. Like, it wouldn't make any sense, right? Like the whole Batman thing. You wouldn't have Robert Pattinson's Batman going in Elseworlds while also simultaneously doing Batman with someone else at the same time. It's too confusing.
On vengeance. All right, vengeance. You're fucking fired. What? No, I'm your replacement. No, you're not. I'm gonna have to cite the case of ain't broke, V don't fix.
So, I mean, I think, I don't know why you made me think of that, but you did. And to me, that has to be a reason, right? Like, that has to be at least two good reasons, I think. Not to do
Well,
it that
and
way.
we don't know when the X-Men reboot is going to happen, right? Is it going to take place after Avengers Doomsday? Is it going to take place after Secret Wars? Because we know it has been confirmed that Secret Wars will be the ending of the multiverse. We've already done a video on that. Should be out before this one releases. But we know that the multiverse is ending. They're going to bring everybody into one universe. It should be the 616 universe. And, that's that soft reboot. Like Mantis had said, a while back that he thought that's what they should do. We've kind of gotten confirmation that is what they're going to do. So it could be that the next X or the next Wolverine project with Hugh Jackman will be done before we get the X-Men reboot. We don't know how long it's. I mean, yeah, well, the Secret
Yeah, there's
Wars
no
is
timeline
going
on
to
any
be
of
like
this stuff. Like, who
27 and
knows?
28, I believe, or 26 and 27. I think it's 27 and 28. So we're years away from getting that conclusion, right? So because
Right.
obviously we're going to get Fantastic
Yeah,
Four
yeah.
next year, and then we will get Avengers Doomsday in 26, Secret Wars Part 1 in 27, Secret Wars Part 2 in 28. And then by the time X-Men reboots, I will be in a nursing home.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing I was gonna say is there's really no. All we know is that from the writing that's currently happening right now, they haven't cast anyone. It's just the writing that they said that Wolverine won't be in it. Now, I mean, you have to assume either later this year they'll wrap all of the first writing and screening and stuff, screenplay, all that should be done. They should then start casting next year. They may be able to start filming by the end of next year or the beginning of 2026. And then you're looking at another, year and a half, 2 years before that then post-production is finished and you're ready to go to screen. So yeah, you're looking in the end or right around when possibly Secret Wars is over with, right? Like it's right around there. So I mean, who knows though? This is all assuming everything goes to plan, as we've seen with Blade. Who the fuck knows? It could just be like Cal said, this may not even ever happen, or if it does, it could be coming out when we're in nursing homes.
We're really early stage in this, right? They're saying right now no Wolverine. That may not fly, right? They may realize, but Wolverine is he has disadvantages as a character because if you're trying to play him as that, obviously, like we're talking Hugh Jackman getting older. De-aging doesn't work. Nobody likes it. It doesn't look very well if you have a character that has to be on screen for a while, especially if they're doing action scenes and things like that. Well, Wolverine, having his healing factor, he stays looking young for a very, very long time. Well, then, obviously Hugh Jackman's getting older. That's why he fit the part better in Logan, because you're like, obviously he doesn't look quite that old, but you got to see him a little bit older. Whereas if you try to do a reboot with him, he's going to look older and you're going to have to de-age him. Otherwise, like, how are you explaining he looks this old, and he's supposed to be this young, always staying, regenerated kind of an X-Men.
Yeah.
I probably get where they're coming from, not wanting to, again, let's do, he can come in later, right? I don't know. The article better. Did they say never going to be, or is just in the first reboot he's not going to be in?
All they said in the current reboot that they're writing, he's not included. That doesn't, like I said, that is, like you said, or you said this, like it doesn't mean that they
can come in the next movie,
Yeah. Like this is the writing. Yeah, they could write him in the next movie. I mean, again, it's all just depending on, like I said, from my perspective, it seems like they didn't want to have two concurrent Wolverines at the same time. They didn't want to have one in Reboot, and they didn't want to have one in Secret Wars at the same time, or in Deadpool if they're just going to branch that off and it has nothing to do with Secret Wars or Doomsday. You know what I mean? Like, I think once that whole thing's tied up in quote unquote soft reboot, they may then write him into. I mean, you can't have X-Men without Wolverine. He's gonna come back at some point. Like, this is just literally the first movie.
What you said there is, if we go off the timeline you were describing just a little bit ago, so you might get the X-Men reboot before Secret Wars or in and around Secret Wars time. So if he's not in that movie, and then it kind of reboots the universe, he could be in the second movie, and then it's going to make sense, right? Ryan Reynolds, now, you kind of got to take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to actors these days. But Ryan Reynolds said, like, Deadpool 3 was it. He was kind of done because of the toll it's taken and as far as with everything, filming schedules and stuff like that. However, we have said previously in many, many videos, Disney has basically the infinite money glitch, and they can literally just say, dance, monkey.
Yeah. Oh, you're tired? I don't think you are. Here's, $90 million. Oh, you know what? I feel pretty damn good. Let's go film this, right? Like, Robert Downey Jr. said he was never going to play Iron Man again. And then, well, I guess technically, look, he meant he wasn't going to come back and play in the MCU ever again.
To be fair, on the Joe Rogan's show, that's when he was talking about it, he said he was done with the character. He said I've taken it to where as far as I can go with the character. So to be fair on that, at least that I'm going off of just that one, guys. I know there's probably other articles and stuff out there, but off of just that, yeah. He was saying he's done with the character because he didn't feel there was anywhere else to take it. So playing a villain is the complete opposite. So I don't know. We'll see how it does. People are
I just think it's I guess my final thoughts on here. I think it's probably a good move if you're going to have both of them out at the same time. I wouldn't want, like I said, two Batmans on the screen at the same time. It's too confusing in two different timelines. As Deadpool even says in there, these timelines get
McAvoy or Stewart? These timelines are so confusing.
Yeah, like that's where I'm at right now. Like, let's just not do that. Let's not have same characters place it. Yeah. So, my thoughts is they're going to continue to do this, and I don't think if the timeline of the production stays the same in this, and it does come out around the same time that around the ending or there around bouts of Secret Wars, I would think they're going to stay true to No Wolverine in the reboot. If it prolongs past when Secret Wars would be over with, I could see them writing him in. But the problem with that is either they have to make that decision now and then say it's not going to be released because we're going to have to start writing now, or they're going to do something stupid and write the film, and which we're going to talk about in the next video, and they don't actually have the whole thing written, and then they're going to finish writing it while they're filming it type of shit, which I hope they don't do, but it's very common in the MCU or Marvel Studios apparently. So there you go.
All right, guys. Well, let us know how you feel about it. Do you think they should do a reboot? Even let's just assume, even if it's just the first movie, do you think they should start a new X-Men franchise without Wolverine in the flagship movie, the reboot of it, even if it is just for the first movie? How do you guys feel about that? Or do you believe that Wolverine is the glue that holds the X-Men universe together? Because thus far, he has been basically that in the movies, right? There are some that argue also in the comics too, but for the movies, Wolverine has been it. So do you think they need to have him in there? Do you think that they should focus on some of the other X-Men that maybe we didn't get to really ever see explored? Like, we never got to really see Jubilee explored. We saw her in both universes of the younger X-Men one and then the original trilogy of X-Men, but we never really got to see her. However, in my personal opinion, I'd rather see Wolverine hacking and slashing people than some fucking fireworks coming out of somebody's fingers.
Jubilee. Yeah. You project pyrotechnic energy plasmoids, like little fireworks.
Yeah,
yeah, you're fired.
So I don't think that's a good trade-off, but focusing on some of the other X-Men and telling those stories and kind of like the beginning days of X-Men before Wolverine was in there and all that. Do you think maybe they should go that route and bring him in a latter movie? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Who knows?
And if you have made it with us this far, consider giving this video a like. Oh, I got it right this time. He is going to show you where.
Oh, yeah.
Stop pointing at your dick.
Here, right.
Can I say that on YouTube? Yeah, I think we can. Oh, well.
It's our channel. We say what the fuck we want to say.
As long as we won't get canceled for saying.
Yeah. You piece of shit.
I'm going to add the bleeps in after the fact. I will actually, I'm going to add in the cuss word of some, I'm going to voice over the actual cuss word with somebody else saying it.
Make it sound like, what's that? Like what is it? The audio translator or whatever in like Word or whatever, when you're trying to type out and you want them to say it. And it's like, it sounds so robotic and garbage.
I can do that.
Yeah, do that. Or if not, make me sound like some other celebrity with AI.
Let's get freaky with it. Jiggy with AI yet. Like I'm not all about it. Like I don't have much experience with it, and it'd be my luck. I'll start fucking with AI, and it'll become Skynet and kill us all. But guys, if you're still with us after this insanity, consider giving the video a like. He's already shown you where. I don't need to point at his dick again. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of our insanity. Click the bell notifications because, we do appreciate all of our subscribers, but we also do see through the analytics, the magic of YouTube Studios, that, a lot of people aren't getting the notifications to know when these new videos release. And if maybe you just don't like the content release and you'd like to see us do other subjects, let us know down in the comments. We're always happy to take suggestions on video ideas, or if there are particular characters or themes in the comics or the movies, live action or animated, that you'd like to see us discuss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're always open to suggestions and new stuff. Or we might even seen all that stuff before, but we just haven't talked about it yet. And you got the good idea. So yeah,
all right,
let us know.
And Mantis, unless you have anything else, that's going to wrap it for us here on this episode of You, Me, and DC. Until next time, we will see you then.
Later.